Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Vivek, and today I'm going to discuss Alexander Pope, the criticism of Alexander Pope, very important writer, and uh, uh, very important quote. First of all, to err is human, to forgive divine. It's exactly written by Alexander Pope. Now we proceed to the criticism. First of all, lifespan of Alexander Pope. The lifespan of Alexander Pope is 1688 to 1744. He is a neoclassical writer. Neoclassical means neo means new, and classical means whose thoughts are based on the classical writers, Greek writers. Classical means Greek writers, so Roman writers. First of all, as we are talking about only on the part of criticism of Alexander Pope, so some of the important works in relation to the criticism. First important work is by Alexander Pope is an essay on criticism written in 1711, preface to the works of Shakespeare, Art of Sinking in Poetry, a short essay, the imitation of epistle of Horace to Augustus, and preface of the translation of Iliad and Odyssey as well. He is a very learned writer, learned poet, critic, because he has read ancient writers, the Greek, Roman writers. He has read. He's well-read person. So, so that all criticism is based on his learning, his knowledge of ancients. Now let's get started. Most important of these is an essay on criticism, whereas I told you very important work of Alexander Pope. Once it is asked in the NEET exam as well, it was the question was like that. Uh, that essay, what's essay on criticism is, what genre? Basically, he was asking the genre. The four options were: is it a essay? Is it a poem? Is it a novel? Is it is a drama? So correct answer was a poem. It's not essay. It's written in verse. Though it's a critical work, but it's written in verse, heroic couplet. So that was the question asked in that exam. Pope follows the classical tradition on criticism, or Pope follows the classical tradition in an essay on criticism. He does little more than some of the critical tenets, aspects of Waller and Denham, followed by Dryden and Addison. He has also read, he was following Dryden and Addison as they were the important propounder of neoclassical writings. Pope defines criticism as through taste to be guided by the rule discovered by Greek uh, human nature, and so which are nature methodized. He advocated that since these rules are deduced from the practice of ancient masters, these rules are from the when you master these writers, the ancient writers, you will able to propound, you will able to advocate them. A study of their works is is equally essential for the formation of the true taste. There are two requirements for the form the basis of Pope's critical theory. His critical theory, Pope's critical theory, is based on two important facts. The facts are the study of ancient models. He has read, as I told you, he was much read of ancient writings. So the thought theory is based on the study of ancient models, the Greek and Roman models, writers, knowledge of their technique. He is well read because he was a well read person of ancient writing. So the knowledge of their techniques of ancient models, he was well aware of it. These two form the basis for not only a good critic but also a great writer. In ancient models is found what is most natural in art of writing. The most natural in the art of writing is plot, character, thought, and expression is very natural. If there are some deviation, if you want to, according to Cylinder Pope, he says that if you want to deviate from the rule, then it should have some ancient precedent, means examples. Some examples you must have if you are deviating the rules of ancient models. The masters of criticism that Pope suggests for emulation are he was emulating these ancient models like Aristotle, Horace, Dionysius, Petronius, Quintilian, Longinus among the ancient one, and from the modern one, Vida, Boileau, Sheffield, Roscommon, and Walsh are the among the modern writings. He says to copy nature is to copy them, means you are copying, copying the ancients, means you are natural, that means it means you are copying ancients. Function of criticism, according to Pope, criticism is more than art of judging right, what is right or wrong. According to Pope, the function of criticism is to art of judging right. A critic is born to judge as poet is born to write. Uh, to be able to discharge this duty, a person should be naturally gifted, properly trained, well versed in rules of ancients. In Pope's opinion, no one can do the job of a critic better than a person who is an author himself, who is a who can be, according to critic, can be the best person who is the author himself. So he says, let us teach others who themselves excel and censure freely who have written well. Let them censure who has written well, means who are the writers. A critic should be learned, disinterested, and free from all ills that hamper right judgment, such as pride, false critic, or good critic or bad critic. Here he differentiate. It's very important that he differentiate in his writings that what are the good critics, what are the bad critics. He says the critic should be free from pride, envy, caprice, and like that, these ill qualities. And Pope condemns the judgments by parts rather than by the whole. He says in his criticism, essay on criticism, that a critic should be, so they should not, a person should not judge a critical work, a work of literature on the basis of parts. It should be judged on overall a work of art. Observations on literature. Pope makes certain observations on the art of writing as well as in his essay on criticism. His observations are particularly in respect to wit. His observations are basically on the wit, diction, verse. Pope defines wit like this. What he says, wit, true wit is nature to advantage dressed, what oft was thought, but never so well expressed. That is the wit according to Alexander Pope. For Pope, wit consisted in familiar idea which is aptly expressed. The Pope's observations on diction are taken from Horace and Quintilian. He is basically, if you read Pope, he is not saying something different. He is saying just what the ancients are saying, the Greek writers are saying, the Roman writers are writing. As far as the choice of words are concerned, Pope of the opinion that they should neither be too new nor too old. Neither you should use new words in his writings, and neither nor you use old words. Pope says that it should be the oldest of the new, and the newest of the old. In the matter of expression, also he follows the beaten track. As I told you, he's not saying something different. He was just saying what ancients have said, what ancients have written in their writings. According to him, it should not be more verbiage, because words are like leaves. and where they most abound, much fruit of sense beneath is rarely found. So that's what the Pope says. Pope says that the word should be the dress of thought, and so no pompous word should be used, according to Alexander Pope. True expression is one that illumines its idea as the sun illumines the earth. So it illumine the idea with true expression of as sun illumines the earth. In versification, Pope condemns cheap musical devices such as equal syllables, open walls, expletives, means abuses. He is condemns those devices, excessive use of monosyllables. He condemns stale rhymes and needless resort of the Alexandrine, means iambic hexameter. It should be it should not be used uh, according to Alexander Pope. The versification should vary, means different according to the requirement of thought. The very sound, the different sound of its word should often suggest their sense. So this is all about Alexander Pope, and what I have thought, what I have an idea about Alexander Pope. That again, I'm saying the same thing, that he is not talking something different. He's not writing something different. He is just following the beaten track, the track of ancient writers, the Greek writers, the Roman writers, what they have said, because he has read too much of ancient. So he had an impact of ancient writers on him. So he is not saying something different other than the ancients were talking about at that time. So as such, he's not. Is not called his creation, but yes, he is. He can we can say that he is a very learned person, learned writer, critic, and he has great knowledge of ancients. So this is all about Alexander Pope. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much.